very good morning to you all, dear students. Hope you're all fine. And our today's topic is educational policies. And this is lesson 9 on education. What is the aim and objective of this lesson? The objective of this lesson is to understand how the policies were designed and established to upgrade the educational standard in early 20s. So first act, which was introduced in 1988, it is called Education Reform Act. This was an important policy. It made basically the 6 key changes. The parliament brought changes in Europe, and that is Ofsted Office for Standard Education they introduced, especially for the inspections, and the parliamentarian and the highly official people can visit the schools and they inspect what kind of the educations teachers are imparting to the kids. Then they introduced the test system at 7, 11 and 14-year kids, and that's called SATs. The local management of school budget reduced the control of schools and handed over to the local communities. They think that the principal or the headmaster or the teachers can upgrade the educational system. So it was suggested that that should be handed over to the local communities, the municipal corporations, and the local community to see and look after the expenditures plus the standard of the school so that they could able to upgrade the education standard. Next is opting out. Schools that were maintained by grants, they were cornered, they were separated from the mainstream, and then city technical schools were introduced. Not only the education in the facts and figures they introduce also that there should be the technical educations. If the students are not good at their studies, so they should learn the technical art system. For example, they should know how to make different things. They can be good carpenters, they can be the electricians, and so many other fields were basically introduced. And then here, that is the point where a national curriculum was introduced. Other educational policies changes since 1988. What were they? There have been many more changes since the 1988 Education Reform Act, all designed to increase the standard of education. What were the main salient features they introduced here? The vocational education includes work experience and applied GCEs. These aim to provide a more skilled future workforce. More money for nurseries and small primary school and smaller primary school classes. The Labour government introduced a maximum class size of 30 pupils for primary schools and poured a lot of money into early education to help improve standards. The national league tables, where they want to create a sense of competition among the students. And they introduced the exam results. Who got the A or A star and who got the B's or C's or D's or E's. There is a declared segregation among the intelligent and the weak students here. So what was the sense of the marketization basically was introduced here. Then formula funding. Schools are funded largely on how many students they attract. This was intending to reward schools that attract many pupils and hence more were successful. If this school performs better and the parents having this wish that they have to get admission to that specific school, so then the more funding will be given only those schools who attract the parents. Specialized schools will receive extra funding to specialize in one certain art, technology, music, maths. This was introduced to improve standards in that field for that comprehensive. Increased tuition fees. The fees were increased to save the government deficit to government expenditures. What are the criticisms of these policies against that one? The Marxists feel that here again the increased marketization benefits the wealthy parents or the families, thus increasing social inequality because there were highly increased fees. There's so many other factors which are beneficial to the wealthy parents. This is because richer parents are likely to do better and get a standard education for their kids. This means they will be able to, unlikely education parents looks into school at greater depth, studying offset reports and the league tables. The offset reports where the local communities were given this right to inspect the schools. The rich parents would be having ample opportunities to visit the school and do the better, where the poor parents don't have this capability. This knowledge, which a lot of working class parents won't have, allows richest families to send their children to the best school and gain the best education. Next is also this increased marketization means that parents are likely to move to get their kids into the best schools, catchment and structured area. However, the poor families can't afford to do this because they can't afford the increasing fee, and that cost matters a lot for the poor parents, and they can't get the standard education for their kids. This increased tuition fees mean that many poor working class people, students, can't attend the school, can't get admission for the higher education as richer families can do. This again could increase social inequality. Next is education in Britain until 1988. What was there? There were three different sections. Tri-party system was there. We look into that one. Then before 1988, what was existing there? That Reform Act was introduced in 1988. The 1944 Education Act set up three types of secondary schools. This division is known as the tri-party, three-way system. The three types were grammar school, technical school, and modern school. So in 1944, they introduced the three system. The grammar schools were the more intelligent students who passed the 11th test. Technical schools were not good at the studies to teach skills useful in labor for those who failed the 11th test. So they were considered as a skilled labor workplace, preparing for that one. And the modern, for all students who failed the 11th test and won't attend technical schools. So that was 1970s again. For the third thing they did, and that was the comprehensive schools. Abolished the three-tier school system. Already in the previous my lecture, sixth lecture was on the comprehensive schools, where all these they tried to merge these three, grammar and modern and the technical schools, that these three divisions were abolished, and later they established only one comprehensive schools. But exception of the grammar schools, where the rich parents sent their kids for education. So 1970s comprehensive schools abolished the three-tier school system with the exception of the grammar schools. Children now all want to similar comprehensive school with no selection by examination. By 2007, there were only 233 state grammar schools were running in whole UK. So dear students, this was our today's lesson on the educational policies which were framed in 1944. There were three main schools. There were grammar schools, there were technical schools, there were modern schools. And later on in 1970, the matter changed and merged into the one system that was comprehensive schools, exception of the grammar schools. But they were in less in numbers. 233 schools were running in the whole UK. And what was the question? The assignment for that one? The assignment note down here. What are the educational policies? And here you have to define 1944 Act, then 1988, then 1970, the overall all this is. And again, I'm repeating the question, what does it mean educational policies, how they were enforced, and elaborate and explain its benefits to the rich families and the poor families, and do the evaluation in the end. Thank you very much. If you have any query, please let me know. I will brief you further on that one. Thank you very much.